The best of the best date night fragrances for the winter time. I just got done recording another video of like the best winter affordable fragrances or something like that. I don't even remember what I recorded last. And I realized that my last recording of the same exact video I already made, which was like 25 minutes long. Oh my God, I have to remake it. So without further ado, let's go ahead and remake this that I already made. Starting things off with one of the sexiest fragrances you can go with on a date. It's Tom Ford's Noir Extreme Parfum. Super sexy, very masculine, spiced, but also reserved in comparison to the original Noir Extreme. The Noir Extreme DNA is around this Indian ice cream, which smells or sounds a lot better than that smells. For a lot of you stereotyping here in the West, it smells amazing. Vanilla ice cream with spice. Wow, that was a joke. I swear to God, that was a joke. But listen, bro, there are people out there, they really be on some shit like that, okay? But look, this smells amazing. Kulfi ice cream is fantastic. It's got like some cardamom spice and a lot of other good things. I remember having some Kulfi ice cream, I believe it was with some nuts or pistachio, etc. This is a fragrance that's heart is around vanilla, some ambers, and those spices like I mentioned, and the performance for this one is going to last you pretty much the entire day. However, it is more reserved in its performance. The older I get, the less performance or projection, I should say, that I want. With Noir Extreme being as equivalently good for me personally, I would say that this is more reserved for those of you who are like 28 and up and kind of want something that's more close encounter. Regardless of the fact, one of the best ones you can take on a date night in 2024 and 5 and moving forward on a date. Next one up is YSL Le Parfum. This is the time of year that they should have released this fragrance because it's a lot thicker and it released during the warmer weather and people did not appreciate this one, but I knew right away this was going to be fantastic during the winter time. It's got orange flower absolute, some peppers, and everything else that the Myself has the original one, but even thicker than that. It's much sexier in my opinion too, making it a lot more appropriate for the warmer weather or the cooler weather and date nights. So because of the fact that it's already a pretty thick fragrance, considering that it does an absolute, which is a more concentrated version of that orange flower, this one, it doesn't really do that good in already humid atmosphere. Humidity along with a thick fragrance really turns into something suffocating. So during the winter time, this is outstanding. Clean fabric softener vibe with an earthy undertone and spices that gets a shit ton of compliments. This is going to last the entire day and project for a solid 4 hours. I like this one. I think it's more interesting than Myself. Now for dates with the sprays, it's all going to vary, but I would say go on the lower end spectrum of any recommendation I give you, especially for dates and especially if you're testing. So with Noir Extreme Parfum, I would say anywhere from 4 to 8 sprays is what I would personally do for dates. And for YSL Myself Le Parfum, I wouldn't go more than 7 sprays. So 4 to 7 sprays. Oh, like I said, any less than this is just one less spray, bro. But yeah, it projects, it's pretty damn beastly. And moving on to the next one is Le Male Le Parfum, the most sophisticated and sexy version of all of those. The addition of a spiced cardamom in that entire DNA and the iris, softening out some of that musky, woody undertone that you get from the signature musk tonka bean combination, is toned down significantly, refined with something powdery, and you end up with something like this. Sophisticated, sexy, and mysterious. It'll also last pretty much the entire day. And with the sprays of this one, I wouldn't go more than about 8 sprays because yeah, it's pretty strong. But aside from that, prepare to get your body looking like this because you'll probably end up taking your clothes off when you're rocking something like this. And if you look any different than that, then she'll probably ditch your ass. The next one is called DHI. No, let's not body shame here. This is not realistic. This is not a realistic shape. You got kids out there, bro. Like I don't have kids. That's my excuse. I mean, I do look like this. No, I'm joking. It's about who you are. But health is wealth as well. But there are a lot of people with conditions out there. A lot of people with conditions. Moving on to the next one, DHI. This wouldn't be a complete list without this one. It's got this metrosexual style of DNA that kind of smells like makeup, lipstick, but also has this ambrette and musky pear. Super sexy. The note of pear in itself is kind of musky. Couple that with an ambrette, which is a raunchier version of musk as well. You end up with something like this. It's very strong. Even the newer batches with the Diorum Intense, I wouldn't spray it more than 8 times going on a date and it'll last pretty much the entire day, at least in my experience. And this bottle too, I'm actually glad they reformulated because this one gives me headaches. The new ones, not so much. It must be some kind of reformulation because of certain regulatory aspects. So reformulations sometimes have good use. Not always, but in this case, it was. Moving on to the next one, this is Spice Bomb Extreme, Spice Bomb Dark Leather, and Spice Bomb Night Vision EDP. Now hear me out. This is the most versatile of them all and ageless. Spiced tobacco and vanilla. Smells like a designer version of tobacco vanille. This one has green apple, sexy cardamom spice, and a bit more aromatic, more attention grabbing. It's like the youth child or the older gentleman who's trying to just get a lot more attention. If you like fragrances like Azzaro Wanted by Night or Most Wanted Parfum, you need to not sleep on this anymore because it does what those do, but some might argue and say even better. And lastly, the most sophisticated and well-bodied or fullest bodied of them all is gonna be Dark Leather. I think that this one is really underrated, honestly, and it got even stronger as it sat. It takes the spice bomb DNA, tones down some of those spices, and it includes this cuir, or black leather, basically. Cuir, that's just French for leather, right? So it would be black cuir. Anyway, Spice Bomb Dark Leather is so sexy. The same perfumer that made Aventus made this. Jean-Christophe Hérault is an amazing perfumer who has made a bunch of my, honestly, some of my favorite fragrances. I'm moving right now, and this is right under me because I love it that much. Vetiver Gris is his creation. Aventus, his creation. This one, his creation. Trust me, you guys, he has a good nose. He does something a little bit unusual, sometimes sophisticated. I mean, oh my God, this is so intoxicating. But back to this one, it's the most sophisticated of them all. If you like Iris, this takes Spice Bomb Extreme, tones down the vanilla, and adds Iris, the most sophisticated and going to be the most reserved in the performance and projection. Spice Bomb Extreme lasts all day and projects like crazy. No more than about 10 sprays, especially if you're on a date. I would say anywhere from 4 to 10 sprays. Night Vision EDP, very crisp, zingy, invigorating, and also sexy and spice. I would say no more than 8 sprays with this one. Very attention grabbing, 4 to 8 sprays. Black Leather, now I would say go anywhere from 6 to 12 sprays. Still gets the job done. You will be heard. Very sexy stuff. Age groups, ageless, teenager up to 35, 25 and up. On to the next fragrance, it's Royal Taboo by AROMATIX and French Avenue. This smells a lot more expensive than the price tag, and it's extremely strong. It's tobacco, softened out spiced cinnamon, and a naturalistic undertone of vanilla. I say softened out because we used heliotrope in this one to kind of blanket the spice that you'll get from cinnamon, along with this naturalistic vanillic undertone coming from the use of myrrh and tobacco. This smells much more expensive than the price tag, and it's very, very, very strong. Also unisex, so ladies that enjoy tobacco fragrances, you can easily get away with this, but I would not personally recommend you spray this any more than 4 to 5 times sprays max. It's very strong. You have been warned. With that being said, this will last the entire day to the next day on clothing. Next one is Bas Bottled Parfum. It takes the bottle DNA, adds some pines, some resins, and also iris, softening things out, giving it a little bit more of a powdery nuance, and making it the sexiest flanker of them all. Soft, sophisticated, ambery, warm, very sexy. This will last pretty much the entire day as well, but you do have to make sure to spray this one, at least in my experience, 5 to 12 times. Somewhere in between 8 to 10 is probably going to be the sweet spot, but I think that this is really underrated and probably one of the best ones. Next one up is Prada Ocean Eau de Parfum. This is sexier than people give it credit for. It seems like a relatively simple note breakdown, but it does take the original ocean, the whole blue oceanic vibe, and adds vanilla, some ambroxan, and resins, making it the sexiest, the longest lasting, and the most projecting of them all. Relatively simple in its scent profile, but that does translate into, in this case, compliments. The vanilla, the ambroxan, it projects, it lasts the entire day. There's nothing to dislike about this. You could wear it for dates or even as a daily during especially the winter time. It works all year round, but date nights, this one will work. Next one up, if you want something a bit more warm, a bit more hair on its chest, but not all the way, it's gonna be Bas Bottled Absolute. The all the way version, that's the elixir. But this one has still a lot of those resins. It seems a little bit more Middle Eastern, Oriental, very raunchy, sexy. I love this fragrance, but I love the elixir even more than this one. This is a little bit more tame. It uses labdanum, some ambers, etc. A little bit vanillic as it dries down. Piney in nature too. If you're about the resins and the ambers, this is like niche. This one and elixir are like niche fragrances made by designer brands. Boss, hit me up, man. I've been wearing your suits. I literally just spent like 4 racks on your suits. Not because like it's Boss, but because you guys got quality. But that's a really good fragrance. Next one, top 5 of all time. Top 3 of all time. Kilian's Black Phantom. Dark chocolate, King Woods. Oh my God, this smells like a dark chocolate bar in an old ass library in every good way. So if you're trying to seduce a woman who's like in her 30s and above, holy shit, this is good. I love this stuff. Hot cocoa, dark woods, books. That's it, read your books, man. Take this one with you on dates. The only downfall of this one is the projection is like, it's pretty dookie, but the performance for this one is outstanding. And truth be told, this should not project. If it was projecting any harder than this, it would come off, like off. It wouldn't smell good at all, but that's pretty much it. The amount of sprays that I go with this one is anywhere from like 6 to 14 sprays. I actually spray this one a lot. And the most reason why is because I just love the scent profile. I want to smell me the entire time. I want to just literally envelop myself in this. And so for that reason, I have a backup of this one, Kilian's Black Phantom. Gorgeous. Another one that would not complete this list without, or that I wouldn't complete this list without, Dolce & Gabbana, the One Intense, or the EDP. Now look, this might not have the best reputation for performance, but what it does have a good reputation for is the sexiest men's fragrance of all time. Tobacco, amber, spicy cardamom, super sexy stuff, man. This is the top dog when it comes to date night fragrances in the designer realm. Now, in terms of the performance, there's an easy fix, gentlemen. Don't spray it less than 8 times. I've never sprayed it less than 8 times, and I've gotten it always a minimum of 6 hours, up to 8.5 hours. So if you want performance, 8 to 18 times. I'm not joking. 18 times it's lasted me the entire day to the next day on clothing. You want it to perform? Spray it a little bit more. I truly believe that if they increase this one in the oils, it would really compromise the scent profile. So spray it on a little bit more. And I understand it sucks having to spray the fragrance on that much, and it seems a little bit weird, like, oh my God, is this too much? But it's really not. Next one, Narcotic Delight by Initio. This has cherry tobacco sexy. Very unisex, very sexy, but the only issue with this one is the fact that it's relatively soft in its projection as well. It's got some kind of booze, also some hedione to help it project a little bit more, and it's also another one that you can go nose blind to. Hedione is also relatively known to create that nose blind effect, especially, well, really depending on the composition in its entirety. With this one, I feel like it just doesn't perform that well. More than 6 hours, it hasn't given me, and I'd spray it anywhere from 6 to maybe even 12 times. Whatever it's worth, for whatever it's worth, it's still very sexy. For the first 6 hours that you are rocking this, you're gonna smell amazing. It's more than just a cherry fragrance. There's a lot more layers to this one, like the tobacco, the tonka bean, vanilla. There's also cognac, hedione. There are a lot of notes to this one, but what really shines the most is gonna be the cognac, which has like this mandarin undertone, the cherry, along with that combination of the tonka bean, the vanilla, and the whole fragrance, right? The whole fragrance shines. It's really good. And that's pretty much it. The best projecting, it's not, but it still smells really good. It's kind of a hard one. It's like, it smells good, but I don't know if I'd recommend you buy it at full price. On discounters, as always, check the links down in the description for the lowest prices. It might actually be worth it. Otherwise, really up to you. We touched base on the most wanteds. If you want the sexiest one right now, it's gonna be the Most Wanted Parfum. I love Wanted by Night, and I also love the Most Wanted Intense Eau de Parfum. This is a mashup of both. I love Wanted by Night because it's very zingy, it's very crisp, attention grabbing, got me a lot of compliments, but I like the Intense, or the Most Wanted Intense EDP, because it's the most ambery and sexy and seductive. This is a blend and a mashup of both worlds. It's also one of the best and better performing ones. I spray this anywhere from about 6 to 14 times, and it lasts me almost the entire day. On clothing, up to 10 hours, and on skin, I would say about 7 to 8 hours. Really good, projecting, long lasting, and also gets compliments. That's the goal here, you guys. Like, compliments are good, especially when you're on dates, which this one gets, but not only from the dates, it also gets it from the women around you on the dates. You might even get got, like Mr. Steal Your Girl. No, Mr. Steal Your Man is this fragrance. Ladies, be careful, but ladies, you can also wear this one too. It's vanilla, it's cinnamon, it's ambroxan, and orange flower. So sexy. One of, to date, my most complimented fragrances. Performance to the next day. And there's nothing. Across the boards, this is a 10 out of 10 fragrance, like with many of these other fragrances, but this one specifically has just gotten me compliments to the point where it's just dumb. Just dumb. Moving on. Next one up, if you like the same quality iris as DHI, listen to this fragrance. It's got that iris, but it also has a bit more masculine woods, like cypress, which is a little bit coniferous to my nose, so kind of the piney origin, and then also having some vetiver, a lot of cedarwood, I believe patchouli, and cardamom, adding some fresh aspects to it. So it kind of takes what DHI does, the best part of it at least, the iris in my opinion, and adds a bit more of a masculine backbone, including suede. So similar, but way different enough to be a completely different fragrance. The only similarity being the iris, and that's what I love about this fragrance and that fragrance. So if you don't have this, if you've never tried it, if you like DHI, this is blind buy safe. Get your nose on this one, it's excellent. Now the performance for this one isn't as good as DHI. It performs, it's giving me anywhere from like 6 to 8 hours, and I would spray it on anywhere from 6 to 12, maybe even 13, 14 sprays maximum for this one. Because of a lot of those woods, it does come off a little bit musky woody. If you overdo it, it smells like mothballs eventually. Next one up is the Stronger With You Absolutely. So initially I had a couple of the other fragrances like the Intensely and the original one, and I kind of wanted to give you guys a little dissection as what I did with the Spice Bomb. So the original one is like teenagers up to 25. The Intensely is the same age group if you want something more intense. And then lastly, the Absolutely would be 25 and up because of the fact that it has booze. They're all ambery, sweet, chestnut, this one being the less sweet and syrupy and having that booze nuance, which most kids under 25 shouldn't be smelling like, shouldn't be at least, but I mean, who knows? Regardless of the fact, because of that, this is most appropriate for the older gentleman, and also the projection is a little bit more reserved. The other two, Stronger With You and Stronger With You Intensely, are both, all three are great. Similar to how I feel about the Spice Bomb, I love most of their flankers, but the sexiest and most appropriate for dates is gonna be between the Intensely and the Absolutely, depending on your age. If you're a little bit older and you want more reserve, Absolutely. Still performs though. Stronger With You, the original, I would go 6 to 14 times. Same thing with the Intensely, and for the Absolutely, I would go anywhere from 6 to 12 times. That booze, I don't wanna smell like I've been just drinking the entire day. Otherwise, I'd get something like this called Royal Blend Bourbon. It literally smells like bourbon. It smells really good. Resins and bourbon, but you get the idea. Performance for all Stronger With Yous, I've never gotten a minimum of less than 8 hours. So they're all 8 hours plus, and we'll just leave it at that, with all of them giving me different variances after that 8-hour mark. But that's pretty much the entire day. And for me, I feel like after that, it's like, if you're still counting, then I mean, what do you want? Like, are you not showering after 8 hours? I mean, I get it if you have a long work day and stuff. Anyways, you get the idea. This is a date though. I would imagine 4 hours, seal the deal, go shower. I would hope you shower. You can get UTIs like that if you don't. Next one is Initio's side effect. Initio's side effect is tobacco, a lot of spice, and rum. Rum in itself can sometimes come off spice, at least in the notes that I've personally used in perfumery, and this one definitely uses a lot of spice. So you have been warned, if you don't like spicy fragrances, you might not enjoy it, but if you do, this is one of the sexiest ones. And ladies, if you can rock this one, this is even sexier on you. Something about a woman who can wear fragrances that have masculine traits makes it so damn hot. It's just that rough edge, the aphrodisiac vibe, knowing a woman can kind of like tame that scent profile, you know, like patchouli, rugged, earthy. It's very sexy on a woman. But still, gentlemen, this is very sophisticated and also something that you will likely seal the deal with as well. Last but not least, this was just laying around and I've worn it to numerous dates, at least when I was in college. It's called Salvatore Ferragamo Uomo. Tiramisu, ambroxan, and peppers spices. Very, very sexy and also affordable. Oh, it shouldn't be on this list. It's an affordable frig. Who cares? Bonus! This is excellent. One of my top 15 of all time and signature wear. I used to wear a date night fragrance as signature scent. I mean, you can wear whatever you want, whenever you want. Just really spray it a little bit less, and it might not be the most appropriate, but I also signature scented Spice Bomb Extreme, and it worked, and I got a lot of compliments. With that being said, I'd spray this anywhere from 6 to 14 sprays. Sometimes I'm like, damn, that's a lot of sprays. But then I remember, and I'm like, I always got compliments. Nobody ever said anything like, it works. If you're spraying it less than that, well, good luck smelling it. That's pretty much it. My name's Neve. Thank you for tuning back into AROMATIX. Those spray routines are just my suggestions, and anywhere in between is usually the sweet spot for me. And if you're one who likes to spray it a little bit less, maybe go on that lower end of the spectrum, but the lowest end is usually the minimum that I've ever sprayed to get even noticed, or even notice my own fragrance. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.